and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast, the coolest wrestling podcast on the planet. My last podcast for a while in this background. I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to be in Colombia, tierra querida, South America, visiting the family for like 3 weeks, dude.
Are you going to be in my time zone now, right? Are we in the same time zone? No, you're in East Coast.
I'm in East Coast, but I think Colombia is still technically East Coast. I don't really know. We'll see.
The world keeps turning, man. You're going to keep on. What's going on now? You got holidays or what? Christmas?
Gonna go visit the family for Christmas season. I will be back for Christmas to celebrate it here in my household with my lady, with my family that I have here.
I think you need to travel every year because every time you travel, CM Punk, something happens with him. Keep doing it, brother.
Dude, and you know what's funny? My original travel date, it just got changed. My original travel date was the day before that SmackDown that CM Punk came back. So it would have been a repeat of last year of how it played out. For those that don't know, that might be new to the Wrestling is Cool community, I went on vacation to Portugal the day of Survivor Series, and CM Punk, after a 10-year hiatus, 10 years, we're talking about one of my favorite WWE superstars of all time. I say, nothing crazy is going to happen. And then that man decides to return, seemingly out of nowhere on a whim. It's a good world to be in when CM Punk is in the WWE, isn't it?
It is. And you're underselling yourself. You had then changed your mind, went to go to the hotel. You rented a second room just to stream at 4 a.m. Survivor Series.
That's dedication, brother.
And you're like,
yeah, I was like whispering through my reaction. Oh, good times.
Good old times.
Good old times. Well, folks, welcome to the Wrestling is Cool podcast. Like I said, the coolest wrestling podcast on the planet. You could be listening to this episode 3 days earlier than everywhere else on the planet over on Patreon, patreon.com/SantiZap. Over there, not only do you get the podcast 3 days early, but you also get the watch-alongs that we do, which are our 5 weekly watch-alongs on the Wrestling is Cool Match Club, which are matches that you vote for. The Undertaker Streak watch-along that I'm currently doing. I just did WrestleMania 11 versus King Kong Bundy. Still cheeks, still terrible. We're getting better. We're still
you don't like rest holds. Dude, I mean, you're complaining about a rest hold.
It's so bad, bro. The whole match is rest holds. You're watching the Royal Rumbles. Which one did you just watch? The botch ending, right?
I did. 2005, man. What a wild ending that was with both Cena and Batista hitting at the same time. You can't even plan that. And then good old Vince huffing and puffing, walking his way down, and then tearing both of his quads, dude. It was wild. And you know what? No Big Show.
No Big Show on that one.
He had a match in the Rumble out on the card. But it was a good one. I think it was pretty solid. I think the iconicness, if that's a word, of 2005's ending pushed that Rumble into like a different stratosphere, you know? How many things can go wrong? And it all did. And it nailed it. A lot better than Bret Hart and Lex Luger when they did the tie. Even that one was on purpose.
This one was a complete botch, a complete accident, and it looked. That's why you can't plan that type of moment, right? It has to be this organic moment. But not only do you get the everything that we just talked about, you also get the Raw reviews and the SmackDown review for 5 smackaroos. $5 gets you everything at the door. We do not keep content in different tiers. If you did want even more, right? If you want that community aspect, we do have the $15 tier for you. Either way, just come check out the Patreon. We even have some free stuff over for you, okay? Just make sure you at least follow the Patreon because we, from time to time, release some of the free watch-alongs on there.
Yep.
Lots of new patrons. So thank you, everybody, for your support. But if you're watching on free feeds or listening on free feeds, we appreciate you as well. We appreciate you as well.
And it's not just WWE stuff in the Match Club. It's everything.
It's everything. Dude, people have been digging like the Japanese matches that we've been doing.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of some Marigold stuff. It's been nice. It's been a nice little eclectic group of matches that we've been getting to watch on Match Club.
What's your favorite one, if you had to pick?
Rob Van Dam versus Sabu. You guys, I don't want to spoil it. But when Rob Van Dam versus Sabu gets released on the Patreon this week, it is the funniest thing that we've ever watched. We were literally on the floor cackling, laughing at that match.
It's something you'd never think you'd see. But hey, I mean, if anyone else could try it, it'd be RVD, right?
That's fair. All right, let's talk about everything that's been going on here. Obviously, the big talking point is CM Punk is the fifth man for Team Roman Reigns. He returned with the wise man to be the fifth member. Sancho, initial first thoughts, tell me.
It feels like it was so obvious, but we didn't think of it. Like it was there. And I know there were some people around the internet that kind of predicted it, but I just did not expect for them to pull this trigger so early to insert CM Punk into the Bloodline storyline, which they kind of teased a little bit when he went up against Solo Sikoa and called him, a cosplay. He did all the thing, and he was like, and CM, and then Paul Heyman was like, "Take me with you." So we had that moment, and it was like, "Ooh, this is getting in spicy." But then having CM Punk as the fifth man in Survivor Series injects him into the Undisputed title picture instantly.
Ooh, you think that we're bypassing the Gunther route here?
Dude, we saw the exit, we skipped it, and we're going straight to Undisputed. You cannot tell me when you have Roman Reigns, who is the biggest face of WWE, and at one point CM Punk, the biggest face of AEW, literally at the same time. And I know, Punk is a WWE guy, but I'm just talking about at the moment where the Bloodline was cooking with Roman Reigns, you had AEW CM Punk cooking as well. We're talking about two of the biggest heavy hitters in wrestling promotions teaming up together in War Games. Come on, man. This is that's excluding the WWE stuff. That's excluding that CM Punk is like an OG Paul Heyman guy. Excluding the fact that CM Punk started the Shield at the very beginning. All that stuff hasn't even brought up yet. We're just talking about bare bones on the surface level, the magnitude of this match that's happened in Survivor Series. And hey, we got to call each other out. We didn't let Papa H cook, and Papa H cooked, my friend.
Okay, I think that brings up a really good point, and I do want to continue talking about the CM Punk stuff and everything that's going on into War Games. I appreciate the concept of letting Triple H cook because he's demonstrated time after time that the end dish that he delivers more often than not is very good. But I feel like a lot of people are leaning and using let Papa H cook as a crutch to justify bad decisions from Triple H. It happens a lot. I think our complaints that we had initially about this being rushed with Sami Zayn and Jey Uso and Jimmy, they stand. I stand by those statements. The reunion of the original Bloodline was very rushed. It really was. I will admit, of course, that the end result that we have right here with CM Punk is a great end result, but I just don't want us to all of a sudden be able to absolve Triple H of criticism from bad booking in the lead up to his great moments. I will absolutely agree that at the end of the day, what matters is the end result, but I feel like Triple H should still be open to criticism. Like we should not be just giving him this carte blanche of just a lack of criticism from our end when we see bad things or things that just aren't entertaining or things that don't make sense. Too many people just use let Papa H cook as a way for us to not criticize bad things that are clearly happening.
This is very Solo Sikoa of you. Let Papa H cook.
We're gonna let Papa H cook.
Well, yeah, I think you're very valid in that, but it's kind of unfair, right? We don't have all the cards, right? We're reacting to content that's being presented to us. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes. We don't know what kind of possibilities they are. But I mean, we should have saw CM Punk coming down the line, right? They kind of made it very abundantly clear when you had Paul Heyman getting powerbombed at Madison Square Garden by Solo Sikoa, and then I still need to. Where's Drew McIntyre? That has to be a question, right? Did you have that question at any point when CM Punk was revealed as the fifth man? Like, is Drew just chilling? Is Drew on ice?
Yeah.
Is Drew later?
I don't think that Drew's going to be part of this narrative here. I think if anybody gets involved and becomes part of this narrative is the guy that says he doesn't want to be part of this narrative, Seth Rollins. I do foresee Seth Rollins potentially getting involved in the match because he's got two major rivals in there, right? He's got Bronson Reed and CM Punk in there. Having Seth Rollins interfere all of a sudden, and Roman, yeah, of course. All of a sudden brings the question, a la Hulk Hogan, who's he here to help? Is he the third man, etc. So I do see Seth Rollins still playing a big role either in the match or in the backlash of the match. But Drew McIntyre, I don't know where he fits in here. I feel like Drew McIntyre, they got to find something new for him. I think it's got to be a blank slate with Drew McIntyre whenever it is that he returns. Because I think the Punk stuff is over.
Doesn't it feel like a repeat of last year's War Games where they just seemingly Judgment Day just brings in Drew? I mean, it's kind of the same thing, right? There's kind of he's out of his place, CM Punk. I think that's going to be one of the interesting things. I mean, is Paul Heyman a good guy? Is Paul Heyman a bad guy? Paul Heyman dressing up like Solo Sikoa with the red handkerchief and the red shirt with the chain almost, minus the chain.
I mean, it's all on purpose too, right? Like, there's no way that this Paul Heyman, who never wears that, literally, like he's never worn that, returns wearing the exact same thing that Solo Sikoa was wearing when he took him out. Like,
right?
It's all on purpose. It's definitely got us all thinking. It's got everyone's gears moving. That is a fair question. Like, is Paul Heyman trustworthy? Is Paul Heyman here to help Roman Reigns? Or maybe he actually is here to help the new bloodline? Could CM Punk turn heel in this and attack Roman Reigns and show the true colors of the wise man? Maybe. There's a lot of things that could happen in this match that we wouldn't have this same level of intrigue, is what I'm trying to say, if it was Seth Rollins, not CM Punk.
Well, there's so many shoes waiting to fall here, right? There's like so many cards in play. Like I mentioned, Triple H has so much close to the vest. We're not even talk about The Rock. The Rock, we were always leaning on like, hey, whatever happens in Survivor Series, The Rock is the end game here. But with CM Punk, we could even delay The Rock even further. Like, The Rock could seemingly go after Cody Rhodes if he wanted to now, because CM Punk is kind of taking the brunt of the distraction for the bloodline. I think this is going to be a very interesting play. If the wise man has always been attaching himself to the biggest shark in the ocean, like I said before in a video, does that mean it's CM Punk? Could it be somebody else? Could it be The Rock that he is attached to? I don't think CM Punk would ever side with The Rock ever in any kind of storyline. It just presents so much, like you mentioned, intrigue. And I have to watch now with a bated breath, because Survivor Series seems like a place or...
What are you, 1,000 years old? I have to watch with a bated breath? What is this, 1945? I do hope that they return back home. I am waiting for you, William, with a bated breath for you to come back from the Navy.
Just let me be a widow. Look,
a bated breath? What is this, Shakespeare?
Dog, let me yap, bro. Let me yap. All right.
All right. So you have to watch with a bated breath. Go ahead.
Dost thou impressed? Dost thou entertain? Dost thou have me spit? Dost thou cook? But I think that it's just very interesting to see so much fireworks, combustible TNT in the ring.
It's a late recording, folks. We're recording this at night, not our usual Tuesday mornings because of my travels. So it's going to be one of those episodes.
In that War Games ring with the man, I tell you.
Okay, so CM Punk, one of the things that you mentioned that I'm really intrigued by is that you now see CM Punk kind of taking a direct road towards the WWE Undisputed Championship, which is currently being held by Cody Rhodes. Unfinished business there still from the Royal Rumble. Let's not forget it was Cody Rhodes that eliminated CM Punk to win said Royal Rumble, right? Dusty's kid. Do we revisit that? Maybe we're talking about a world where Kevin Owens wins the Undisputed Championship and it's Kevin Owens versus CM Punk, a feud that's a combustible feud. No, you don't see it?
No, that hasn't even. We haven't even ordered the recipe for that, the ingredients for that recipe. You're just throwing that out there to get some clicks. Seems no, sir, no, sirree. I'm thinking I think if you think about it, who's the most formidable threat to Cody?
Randy, The Rock.
Randy's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Randy's hurt. Who knows where Randy is? We don't even know if Randy's a good or bad guy. When he comes back, he definitely is going to have to get his back on Kevin Owens. The Rock, sure, but putting the Undisputed title on The Rock would just be, I don't know, for Mania season next year. CM Punk is your answer, sir. Okay. CM Punk is the most formidable threat that you can have. And CM Punk is that guy that can carry the belt and be the face of the company while he's a heel.
See, and I like the idea, and just kind of hang with me here for a second. If there is a feud between CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, my goodness, there's a lot of intrigue as to how you could insert a Seth Rollins in here, a guy that despises both of them. Let's not forget the hatred that Seth Rollins has for obviously CM Punk. But we seem to think that like CM Punk, that Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes are like buddies because of how WrestleMania 40 went. But let's not forget that trilogy, that like hate-filled trilogy, was one of the best things of 2022 that fueled a lot of storytelling as well in 2023 as well. I would love for them to revisit that as well. And if we have a world where maybe a triple threat undisputed championship match ends up happening between Cody, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins, damn is what I'm saying.
That'd be so good because Seth Rollins is the oil. Sorry, I know I'm not supposed to use this word in the podcast. I apologize.
Oil is a sensitive word here.
I do apologize. I know it's a trigger word for you, but he's definitely the lubricant between the two guys. All right, he's the guys that could get things going. He's the workhorse, and he is the high flyer out of both of those. And they could definitely put on a banger match. But I think you said it. I think earlier before that CM Punk in the WWE, it just feels right. It's because of the lore, the history, and the prestige of CM Punk just amplifies anything that he's a part of. I mean, we already saw CM Punk in a Hell in a Cell with Drew McIntyre, and we're about to see this guy in a War Games match. And CM Punk loves history. CM Punk loves Dusty Rhodes and all that kind of stuff. So him in a War Games match, he's in heaven, dude. They're gonna do something special in that ring that night.
Does he come out last for the baby faces? As of the making of this video, we don't know who has the advantage. Is he the end? I mean, I feel like for the sake of CM Punk's body, I don't want him going the distance, right? He just did a 35-minute match of the year contender Hell in a Cell match as his last match. And then to ask him to go the distance for a War Games match, I think it might be a little much. I could see him being the last guy that comes in for the baby phases.
I would take that. I don't want a situation where Seth Rollins or Drew stops CM Punk and then he goes out for the entire match and then he comes back in at the end. That could be a possibility. There's so many things they can do, but I think the attraction is having Roman and CM Punk in that cage together for a long time, in the little cage, the shark cage.
Oh, dude, yeah. Oh, yes.
Yes. And you have to remember that Roman Reigns and all the social postings of the WWE hasn't seemed to be on the same page with the Wise Man. Like, he doesn't feel like he's been back into it. Like, even the face of Roman Reigns being like, what are you doing here, Paul? Like, I called you and you didn't pick up and now you're here with him, CM Punk. And of course, there was that moment where he's like, CM Punk is like, I'm here for him. And Roman's like, that's my Wise Man. And CM Punk goes, we'll see. We'll see about that. So it's like, if you're a Roman, what do you do if you're Roman Reigns, man? You're trying to figure out if you can trust CM Punk, if you could trust Paul Heyman. You know the scheming ways of the Wise Man. Now, what do you do? And you have Solo Sikoa, and you don't have an easy out with the new Bloodline. That's a very difficult Bloodline with Bronson Reed there.
Dude, Bronson Reed fits.
I know, right?
He fits so well in there. Sometimes I didn't even notice that he's there because I just, that's just a member of the Bloodline. And then I'm like, I have to do a double check. That was Bronson Reed the whole time. He just fits so nicely in there.
I know we're going to do prediction videos, but does CM Punk with Paul Heyman put the OG Bloodline over?
CM Punk with Paul Heyman, does he put the OG Bloodline over? In what regard? Tell me.
Do they beat the Bloodline 2.0?
I know we're going to do a predictions video, but yeah, dude, I just don't see a world where Punk and Roman Reigns lose. I don't see Roman losing.
Jey Uso, sir.
Okay.
Sir. And Jimmy.
It's just that after what happened at Crown Jewel, I just don't see Roman losing again.
The poison pill Crown Jewel.
Dude, Crown Jewel ruined everything.
Ruined
everything.
It's going to ruin Wicked for you. I bet you're not even going to go see it because it ruined everything for you. Yeah, the emerald green ruins everything for you. I think like the most interesting thing as well is I ask you this question. You are the wise Santi. Santi. Does CM Punk get the undisputed title before Roman does in the next 3 years?
I don't think so. I'm not as convinced on CM Punk going after the undisputed title as much as you are.
Gunther, though,
because he called a shot on Gunther. He already called a shot.
He could call his shot on anybody. He could go to LA Knight for crying out loud. He could do anything he wants. Why settle for the heavyweight? Where Shy Gunther, ooh, am I strong? Am I confident? Please don't hurt me, Damien. Or do you want to have him deal with that? No, put him back with the big dogs where he belongs, bro.
Yeah, but he belongs with the big dogs, but I also want CM Punk to help create new stars and help elevate people, you know.
He's too old for that, though. He can't do that. That's
but he's good enough to carry the company and be the poster child of the undisputed title.
He's not going to have the Cena schedule if he's champion. No, that's not him.
Oh, so now we're looking at a part-time champion.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Fantastic promos. Better than, so Charlotte, what do you want to talk about?
Hey, they cut a pretty wicked promo on SmackDown. They cut what I thought was a promo of the year contender.
Really?
I thought it was incredible. I thought it was almost as good as some of the stuff that Punk and McIntyre were doing.
Yes,
but I will say, I felt like it was predominantly carried by Kevin Owens.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
No, you don't think so?
Equals.
No, I just felt like sometimes Cody Rhodes, like I think every wrestler with their promos, they have a particular cadence about them, right?
They do.
They have like a sound.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Owens is unique though. He does have a sound, but in this promo, it just sounded like an angry dude. Like that just sounded like a pissed off, actual, real human. That sounded like a Kevin Steen.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Cody was still doing this kind of promo. Kevin Owens, the biggest enemy to Kevin Owens is you, Kevin. He kept doing the Cody Rhodes style of promo against Kevin Owens, who's just cutting so deep. That's why I thought it was carried by Kevin. Kevin Owens.
You sound like Triple H almost. It wasn't totally champion Cody. It was a little bit more lax. I think there was a little bit more intensity in this Cody. I think Cody's under such a magnifying glass. You can't give him his flowers. Just give the boy his flowers. He brought it, dude. Without that kind of energy, Kevin wouldn't have got there. Now, Kevin Owens, I don't like passive-aggressive Kevin Owens, who's a face. It's very difficult to listen to with that cadence, but when he's a heel and he has problems and he has something to go up against and he has a leg to stand on, like you like to say, when he's spitting facts, that goes a long way. But I think what Cody said was very prevalent. I think Kevin Owens doesn't recognize how great he is, and that's something that was shaking.
That's so cheesy. You don't know how good you are. Lame.
Can we go back to CM Punk real quick? But yes, sure. I agree. That was amazing. Okay, so CM Punk in War Games, I think he enters last. I think Paul Heyman, I don't want to overcomplicate it. We can't overcomplicate this too. It's already complicated. I think he's just going to be a good old-fashioned OG Bloodline win. They beat with CM Punk. Now CM Punk is owed a favor by Roman Reigns. I think that's where it ends.
Okay. You know what? Last year's men's War Games match, you remember how much people were fantasy booking? Like, Randy's going to come back and he's going to have his head shaved and then he's going to turn heel and then it's going to help the Judgment Day win. Judgment Day needs the win to help legitimize them. And it was just babyfaces win. Babyfaces win. And I think it's just going to be the same case here. I think the babyfaces are going to win, especially when we look at the names that are involved in here. And it could be like this teeter-totter back and forth, right? Bad Blood, good guys win. Crown Jewel, bad guys win. Survivor Series, good guys win. And then what's left for the bad guys to bring the teeter-totter back to their side? The Rock. I feel like that's when The Rock comes in to bring back the advantage to New Bloodline.
And the Ulufala. They still have that.
They still have that.
It's the ultimate card for them, the ace up their sleeve that Roman, no matter, I think the way they're going to present it is no matter how many times Roman does win, he's not satisfied. And I think it's going to make a Roman very grumpy guy. And he's not going to be a happy cat. You remember Grumpy Cat? R.I.P.
I do. Yeah. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Grumpy Cat. Not Matt Pat. He's still alive.
Hikuleo. Do you think that he appears in this? I don't think that makes sense, right?
Maybe Raw after, perhaps. Maybe he's with The Rock. Kind of like a valet, kind of like a bodyguard type of vibe.
No, that'd be way too big of a rub for a guy that
he's
never
supposed to
been
be a
introduced.
7-footer.
I guess.
You're just jaded. For those of you who don't know, he's been watching Taker Manias, right? He's been watching and he already passed Giant Gonzalez. So I think you got tall, what is it? You're tall
phobia.
Tall phobia. There it is. Tall phobia about the whole thing, my man. Well, why not Hikuleo? I mean, Solo got a big rub by being next to Roman.
But this is The Rock, brother. Like, it's The Rock. It's The Rock.
I suppose.
It's The Rock. What I was saying is that I do think that there is still a lot of room for this feud. There's still, of course, Saturday night's main event, which I presume that's the place where they can actually do Roman versus Solo. Like finally, Roman versus Solo for the Ula Fala. Ooh, what you got there? Got some fries?
It is late night. I got delicious. This is not sponsored by Whataburger, but holla if you want. Whataburger. It's a Texas thing, but it's not the same. I'm asking for sponsorships. Not the same.
Ever since not great.
There used to be a Corpus Christi brand, but then they sold off to the Chicago-based company, and it's not as good, but it's still good. You know what I mean? Hey, sponsor us though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What were we talking about?
You were talking about main event, Saturday night main event.
This Saturday night's main event. There's still room in places to continue to further develop this Bloodline storyline, right? Like there's Saturday night's main event. There's Raw on Netflix. And then, of course, we have the build up to the Royal Rumble, which I'm sure will have some Bloodline related things. It usually does. It's had Bloodline related things for the last handfuls of years.
You don't think The Rock gets a match at Raw Netflix?
I don't know if he gets a match, but I'm confident that he's going to be on the show. I'm really, really confident that we're going to have The Rock there. I don't think that that's where he returns either. I could see, honestly, I think The Rock comes back at Saturday night's main event. I feel like, yes. So it's not about necessarily about the venue. It's about the fact that this show is in front of the most amount of eyeballs that WWE will be in front of.
Because more so than Netflix.
No, we don't know that, right? We don't know what kind of numbers Netflix will do. But in terms of like traditional media, being on NBC primetime, we know that's a big deal. That is millions of extra eyeballs that could be tuning into WWE for the first time. That is millions of extra eyeballs that could be like, I used to watch WWE. Let me give this a shot. It's on primetime. So if Raw is typically watched by 3 million live, maybe, I could see this being north of 10, 11 because of the spot that it's in. NBC primetime. That is huge. And I feel like they're going to bring out big guns for that to really set up Raw on Netflix to be a success right off of the off the get-go in day one. I think The Rock,
Karrion Kross.
Of course.
Yes.
I think The Rock and Cena appear at Saturday night's main event, but I do believe that there is a match at Saturday night's main event between Roman and Solo Sikoa, and that's where The Rock gets involved. That's where the ball gets rolling for who's The Rock here for. Maybe he just straight up like attacks Roman at Saturday night's main event. I don't know. But that's the one piece that's missing that could still fall in favor of Solo's bloodline, The Rock.
I got you. Is this the same place?
Of course.
Yes. You get that match. The Rock comes in. Roman's about to win the Ula Fala. Roman's about to put it on. And guess who steals it? Just like Kama did with the urn. You think the Undertaker's about to get the urn back against King Kong Bundy and the IRS? No. Out comes The Rock, takes the Ula Fala for himself, and he becomes the tribal chief. Ooh, dastardly Rock. Very dastardly. You like that word? Dastardly.
Dastardly. I mean, we're using old-timey talk now, so twirling mustache. Yes.
Yes, dastardly with a rock.
So I don't think that we are in the 9th inning of this bloodline story that's happening.
What are we in? This is not even the same ball game, bro.
Yeah, this is game 2 is what it is. All right. It's a 7-game series. It took forever to finish game 1. This is just game 2. So I guess what I'm trying to say, long story short, is I think the babyfaces win. Punk wins. I don't think that there's any like crazy swerves here. I think the swerve will eventually come when The Rock arrives. And I don't think that that's going to be at Survivor Series. I think that that's going to be saved for Saturday night's main event. Maybe we'll finally know what that means. The 1, 2, 3 countdown. It's going to be Bloodline rules.
He is GQ's most sexiest man alive.
Dude, it shouldn't be him.
What do you mean?
I don't think that he shouldn't have won. He should have won.
Are you denying that Dwayne The Rock Johnson's not sexy?
I'm saying that they're sexier
Men on this planet than Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Who would be your pick?
I mean, Ryan Reynolds is just such a great pick.
I
love Ryan Gosling as well.
No.
How about John Krasinski? Krasinski, Jim from The Office. Come on, that's a handsome man.
He's already people's pick. All right, he's already been picked by the lower tier.
By the lower tier.
Yeah, aren't talking about GQ, brother. You know that magazine we all bought.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
No, you're idiot. It is Glenn Powell, my guy. That man is sexy, brother. Cowboy hat, tornado chase. You don't even know who I'm talking about?
No, Google I do know. I watched
off and Google
I watched the movie. I watched the tornado chasing movie.
Yeah, you like that? If you feel it, chase it. Huh?
Sacha, what's the if you feel it, chase it of the WWE?
Dominic being heavyweight champion.
If you feel it, chase it. Now we're talking, folks. Now we're talking. Did you see ESPN's #1 ranked male wrestler? Just wrestler under 30. Take that, MJF.
That's right. Wow. Get out of here. You know what I mean? Dom, baby. Dude, Dom looks so you called it so well. I was making sure I was watching him with a bated breath. I was watching him and I noticed he doesn't care anymore. He's just like, whatever, Finn. Go ahead. Pretend to be the leader. I know what's happening here.
Are we good to move on from Punk Bloodline stuff? I think we should move on. What do you want to talk about here? What do you want to talk about, Sunshine?
I think, okay. Truthfully, the CM Punk thing, the reason why I'm kind of still chill on it is because there's so much days left to get to that hype level. And the hype's going to be astronomical when the bell rings. It kind of reminds me of Fortnite, all right? People come in here and go, hey, Sancho, are you excited for the new season of Fortnite? And I get asked it 100 times. And I just say, nah, dude, I keep myself at even kill, baby. Because then when that new season hits, when the live event happens, then I get hype. Then I rise to the occasion. And then I rise. You know what I mean? That's when I get there. I keep it chill right here. You know what I mean? I'm at a 0.
Yeah, it's like before a badminton tournament, yes. It's like, yeah, I get it. I'm excited for it, but it's not
waxed by all the other kids.
But I need to get to the day of. I need to get to the day of to really feel the true excitement as I see the birdie flying at me, as I hit it with the shuttlecock, whatever it is that you want to call it. Yeah. So I totally get where you're coming from. As we lose all of our listeners.
No, Santi.
Yes.
I think we're bringing back because Santi. I have good news for you.
Oh, hit me.
I realized that along this journey, we've been doing this for a year plus, and wrestling is cool. And you mean a lot to me. And I think that we are at its best when we're both having fun together. Now, recently in Monday Night Raw, I noticed there was a great segment that happened between the great Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston with a full crash out of New Day. I know we're gonna take a slight path and leave Survivor Series for a second. Santi, I sat there and I see these two great gentlemen who were brothers for 10 years having this discourse. And I don't want that to be us, brother. No. So it is time. I am going to allow you on this train. Would you like to come aboard the New Day train, the Karrion Kross train, the Wyatt Six train, the Miz train? It's all the same train.
It's not the same train. It's not. Let me on the train. It's not the same train, though.
Why do you keep doing this? I literally spilled my heart out for you.
No, and I appreciate that. I want to be on the train. I just so long as that we are in agreement that it's a different train.
Can we agree to disagree and be on the same train?
Let's be on the same train, even though the Karrion stuff is a different train. But
it's the same train, right? We agree to disagree.
Different train carts.
Sure. I don't care. I just want us to both celebrate what we're about to witness together.
Are you setting me up for something mean?
I'm not. I swear. No.
Okay,
I swear.
I need you to swear on the next Fortnite season. I need you to
100%. I swear in the next Fortnite season. I tell you, I had this thought with my watch party, and I said, you know what? I am ready to celebrate this fun times with you, because together it is better. That's what makes wrestling is cool. I'm not a gatekeeper here. Okay. I am dead serious.
Okay. All right. We're both on the same train, because that New Day stuff was incredible on the most recent episode of Raw. That was so good. What a brilliant decision to have them lose to Alpha Academy. These guys that are squashed, literally squashed by Alpha Academy. These guys that are just losers. Like, let's just call it what it is. These guys that can barely make it on Raw, that maybe get a match on main event. I think a couple of weeks ago, I saw Otis have a match on main event. Like, good for you. And now they get a match on Raw against what's supposed to be this legendary, unstoppable tag team in the New Day. And they beat the New Day in less than one commercial break, basically. In like
1 minute.
Wow. Like, in 1 minute, they squashed the New Day. And then they go backstage and have one of the coolest like breakdowns of a team I've ever heard, because they were both going for the jugular to the point where like they were both kind of the heels in that situation, which was so unique, which does leave some mystery up in the air as to who will eventually actually put the knife in the back of the other guy. Because I'm not necessarily convinced that it's Xavier Woods. I know that that's where that's where they're guiding us, right? Like, that's the pastures they're taking us if we were cattle. But I'm not unconvinced that it's not Kofi Kingston here.
Someone said it in my chat. I forget who they are. I'm not going to take credit. But what if it was Kofi and Xavier turn on Big E?
Oh.
And they did the most heinous, evilest thing that you could ever think of. And Big E's like, guys, you need to be together. And they attack Big E out of frustration.
And what, like, is it the attacking of Big E that brings them together?
And to a new heel tag team.
I like where you're going with this. So you don't think that we get the match that people are kind of clamoring for, which is Xavier versus Kofi? You don't think that we get that?
My only reason why I don't think we do is because there's so many factions that are tag teams that are splitting around the WWE in factions as well, that I don't think they go that route. I think the unexpected swerve is that they're together as a tag team and be the original versions of the New Day. The one that Xavier wanted at the very, very beginning. The one that, man, I love that callback to Kofi's like, I'm the Hall of Famer. You asked me to be a part of your group. That stuff was amazing. And I think that's where we ultimately end up, is that we end up with that. That's a possibility that I think not that many people are talking about. I mean, obviously would be Xavier versus Kofi, but what's the goal of that? The soul of what? New Day?
I mean, it could just be for the sake of having a good feud, a good match, but I get where you're coming from. Like, what are we left with when the smoke settles of that feud? What are we left with? And I'm having a hard time visualizing what that is. If we were to have a Kofi versus Xavier feud, maybe it is one of those brawls and fights where they eventually come together afterwards. You know, they finally, kind of see, hey, we're brothers. We shouldn't be doing what we're doing right now. It's funny that you mentioned the possibility of them just becoming a heel tag team together and just becoming a far more ruthless version of themselves, because that's where I thought DIY was going. That's where I thought that's going. So it's interesting that you think it's happening here for the New Day, because I think it's happening over there. Yes. Sancho West.
As someone that is not an anime expert like yourself, I did notice the New Day were wearing Goku and Goku Black.
Yes.
Can you explain to me what is that symbolism?
There's not really a heck of a lot of symbolism. Like it you can just look at it and see it as a really on the nose, like light side, dark side. But in the anime, there's regular Goku, and then there's Goku Black, which is an evil deity that has taken Goku's body for himself from a different dimension, that is now doing heinous things, basically in the name of, and Goku's taking the credit more or less for all of these heinous things that are happening. But really, it's good Goku, bad Goku, if you really want to look at it this way.
Is Goku Dragon Ball Z Superman?
Yes, it's like uncanny. It's alien from a different planet, comes to Earth, gets raised by Earthlings. like literally, it's Superman. It's Japanese Superman.
Who would win in a fight between the two?
I think it's been, now that the new versions of Dragon Ball have come out, the power scaling of Goku has gone up to a point where it is Goku now. It is Goku now. But for a long time, it was Superman. Long time, it was Superman.
To bring it back to wrestling, that John Cena would be power scaled appropriately?
Yes. I feel like if we were to do fantasy power scaling for WWE superstars, we would be looking at John Cena kind of being in the same power scale as like the Gokus, the Supermans of the world. I absolutely think so. And I think CM Punk would be a Batman.
Are we talking about like Ben Affleck Batman or Christian Bale Batman or Robert Pattinson Batman?
Neither. I'm talking Batman animated series Batman, the best type of Batman.
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, the best type of Batman. That would be CM Punk.
Okay. You still don't think he's going to be undisputed champion, huh?
I'm having a tough time seeing it.
Within 3 years at least.
Does he have 3 years? Like, we're talking about a dude that's pushing 50.
You don't think that he should win before he leaves? Before he retires? Main event, WrestleMania, become an undisputed champion?
You know what I'm noticing here, Zanjo? And I don't think that it's necessarily something that you're hiding. I just think it's just a clear as day. You do not see the world heavyweight title as the prize, do you? It's pretty clear. It's pretty clear that you have the world heavyweight title. Like, it's not even close in your eyes. You have it like down here.
You accuse me?
J'accuse.
Your Honor, I do declare this has been a very surprising accusation. The WWE, sir, has booked it that way. Gunther has lost his smile.
His Bushido.
Oh my God, that segment was pretty tough to witness, and I just love how Gunther turns around and goes,
and then still loses the fight. That's not my general. That is not my general.
That is an imposter. That is do you believe in skinwalkers?
Ooh, skinwalkers. Those are people that can shapeshift into different beings?
Yeah, there's someone inside Gunther right now.
Oh. No, I don't.
You don't believe in clones? That there's like people has been replaced?
Oh, dude, now
like Avril Lavigne? Ooh.
You think Avril Lavigne's been replaced? Why Avril Lavigne? Of all the people you could replace in the world, why are we replacing Avril Lavigne?
She was
a skater boy. Girl. She said, "See you later, boy." I had to do a dance routine to that in grade 3. I was the skater boy. Why are you laughing? You don't see me as the skater boy? I was good. Brother, I was a good skater boy.
All right.
You're laughing at an 8-year-old kid. I want you to know that's what you're bullying right now. I did good as the skater boy.
You're like Gunther.
You want to see my end pose at the very end of the song?
I'll take it. Sorry, listeners, I don't have the timestamps. I've lost it. Oh, he had a backwards hat, folks. You look like you're about to do some home improvement.
Dude, why does this always happen to us on night episodes where our episodes just turn into street buses on fire rolling down a hill? That's what these episodes eventually become.
It's not my fault. We watched Monday Night Raw. I've been up since 5 a.m., brother, and my kids are home from the holidays, Thanksgiving break. I'm doing my best here, I'm on fumes, but I'm vibing, man.
Man, I appreciate you changing your schedule for me. I really do. You know what was weird about Raw?
Hit me.
The announcement of the women's IC title.
Hell yeah, that was weird.
Being this like throwaway almost. Like, here's what happened earlier tonight, and then And then they just announced, they do the whole announcement, by the way, of the Women's Intercontinental Championship. They could have just not told us that was earlier tonight. They could, they totally, because just the fact that they told us and they had the logo of earlier tonight made it seem like a lesser announcement than it was. We didn't need to know that was earlier tonight. They could have literally just played that and we at home would have had no knowledge. We would have been none the wiser.
I blame Adam Pearce, dude. He was like, wait, I was supposed to announce that? Oh my God. Well, can we just do it now? Versus Nick Aldis does a video package, brother. He gets the editors involved. He runs SmackDown like a tight ship. And that United States women's title looks so much more alluring, try that for a word, than that IC title. I thought the IC title would have so much pop. Like, it should have got an in-ring proper wabash, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just felt like second fiddle. That's awful.
It is awful. And they could have definitely, they could have had it on the show. Like the Solo Sikoa promo that happened, the pre-recorded promo, we didn't need that. That did nothing. That did nothing. We could have used that time to do a proper live announcement and unveiling of the Women's Intercontinental Championship. The way they went about it immediately tells me that in terms of prestige, women's US title is where it's at.
True, which means to tell me, and there's people that have been chattering, and I hate to say this, and you said it too, Charlotte's coming back.
Oh, buddy. You know what I always say? 3 things certain in this world: death, taxes, and Charlotte coming back from an injury after a long time to instantly win a championship. It's just that for a long time, we just always thought it's got to be a women's world championship. What if she comes back and instantly wins a mid-card championship? People call me crazy. You know what? But it's the crazy people that have changed and evolved this planet, Sancho. It's the people like me that push the boundaries. That
is that a Joker?
Yeah, I'm going for a Joker. And it works because we have the Dark Knight Rhea Ripley. Rachel, who's the 5th man? Who is the 5th woman? Who attacked Jade Cargill?
You notice my prediction is that War Games, she's gonna get that cracked in half. Because it kind of feels like a very cartoon. Her eye looks kind of jacked though. Did you see her eye?
No, I didn't.
It looks so like bruised and deformed almost. Like for a second, it looks like Phantom of the Opera. I predict that thing's gonna get cracked in half. It's gonna be brutal. She's gonna take a gnarly one of those aluminum trash cans and is gonna make it look like she got destroyed. And I think she's gonna be out for most of the War Games, and then she's gonna do her Rhea Ripley. I could fix myself. I could reattach my arm. That type of vibe. Merely a flesh wound, and come back and get that crazy roaring pop that she's so good at lately. That stare down with Bianca Belair.
That was nice. That hinted. That's a dream match that we've not yet really touched on the main roster. It's happened before in NXT, but it hasn't happened when they're both megastars on the main roster yet. And it's just one of those Triple H moments of like, hey, remember this thing that we have in our back pocket that we've yet to use? It's right there. Don't forget about it.
Sometimes Triple H reminds me of George Costanza.
I know exactly what I'm visualizing it too. I know exactly what you're talking about. Let's talk women's War Games then.
Let's do it.
Women's War. No, hang on. Let's not do that. Women's IC title. We just talked about it. Let's finish that topic first. When I look at the Women's US Championship, there are like 3 people. You can even make the argument for more that are like, you deserve this. You deserve this. You deserve this. You deserve this. When I look at Raw, there's not a single one. There's not a single one, unfortunately. There's ones where I think it'd be cool. It'd be cool if Zelina Vega won it, but they have not booked her in a way where you could scream from the mountains, Zelina Vega deserves this, in the same vein that you could with a Michin who's been cooking, Chelsea Green. We can't say that for Zelina Vega because they've not given her that opportunity. Maybe Ivy Nile, but same thing. It hasn't really been showcased very well. Dakota Kai, she's been not really a factor for a really long time, but that's somebody that's considered a favorite to potentially win this. Lyra Valkyria has just been off of TV. And I feel like we've talked about this before on the show. Part of the problem is that WWE hasn't done a great job of building the women's division outside of the vacuum that is Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. And now all of a sudden that they're going to insert this mid-card title, we have to look around the room and look at what we've been doing with the women's division, and we have to now realize that it's not been good. We've not done a great job of elevating the other women that are not in the main event scene to be a really worthwhile first inaugural women's intercontinental champion, like the many worthwhile inaugural potential champions that we have over on SmackDown. Yes, Sancho.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Wrestling School proudly present to you the new IC Women's title winner is Jordynne Grace, baby. Jordynne Grace will be a phenomenal inaugural IC title holder. Would it be weird for a TNA person to come over to win the WWE title? Yes, but you want to add prestige? You want to add someone who could actually hold the belt? Jordynne Grace would be a great pick, brother.
Okay, I love it. But
Yeah.
I feel like the only world where that's realistic is in a world where there's already a back room. In a world where there's, because for those that don't know, Jordynne Grace's TNA contract ends in early 2025. The only world where I see this being a potential outcome, Jordynne Grace being the inaugural women's intercontinental champion, is if there's already a deal in place that the second your TNA champion contract ends, you're just with WWE. You don't have this free agency period. You don't get to test the waters. Your TNA contract ends. The second that ends, you're already with WWE. WWE would need assurances that that's a long
Or they've
play.
already signed it.
Maybe. We don't know. We do kind of know a little bit of the background workings of TNA, because it seems that people that they might lose to NXT or might jump ship to the WWE, that they won't write off. Because of this partnership, they'll allow them to kind of continue on in TNA and then potentially appear in WWE. Meanwhile, somebody like Speedball Mike Bailey, that seems to be all but assured to go to AEW, they just wrote off. And that kind of makes sense because there's no partnership there.
Yeah.
So with Jordynne Grace's contract ending, if we see Jordynne Grace continuing to appear on NXT and on TNA TV, and we don't hear anything about her re-signing with TNA, I'm almost certain that it's just going to be a quick transition, pluck her from TNA, put her into WWE TV. And if that is the plan, if that is the case, she'd be a wicked first intercontinental champion. It seems unrealistic, just kind of based on what we have been held to know as wrestling fans, that outsiders won't win these big things.
But she's already been in the Rumble, though.
Doesn't matter. I mean, they put her up against Roxanne Perez and refused to pull the trigger to have her win the women's championship, even though she's like 5 times her size and strength. It's unrealistic that she would lose to Roxanne, but she did because she's not a WWE person yet.
What about an NXT talent that gets called up, like a Julia?
There's too much going on. There's too much going on over there. Women's title, women's mid card.
So what? They could just jump her. They could inject her right into the IC title and hold that.
I'll tell you this. I feel like Raw needs that injection.
Right?
Raw really needs that injection of women's talent. Or maybe I'm just seeing a mirage, and that mirage being this like desert landscape of like no viable women. But maybe it is just a mirage. Maybe those viable women are there. It's just that WWE hasn't done a great job of pushing them and booking them and making them seem strong. Maybe that's just the case.
Brother, pull up a chair. All right. I know I gave you fantasy. I gave you Mirage. I gave you Oasis. Come here. I want to be like that guy on TikTok. Hey, come here. I'm going to tell you something. It's going to be PFC in Sonya Deville.
Oh, no. It's not going to be
it's
PFC.
It's going to be PFC in Sonya Deville, brother. It's going to be a Shayna Baszler. It's going to be Zoe Starks. Free bird in that bad boy.
Oh, dude. This might be up there with your Lana managing Gunther.
Lana said in an IG live, should I go back?
And everyone said, nah, we could.
Come on, dude.
No, why with Gunther?
Look at my boy Gunther. Look at him. Santi.
You think that it's Lana that gives him his smile back? Oh. No.
Dude, bet me 100 gifted. That if it doesn't
you're
happen,
willing to put 100 gifted on the line, you're an insane man.
I have no money in the stakes, but you have to give me 100 gifted.
That's not how gambling works, brother.
Hey, it's late night. Come on.
Just wheeling and dealing here at midnight.
Wow. I'll just say this: like, I feel that the WWE can almost do wrong. No wrong. I mean, they did almost wrong with the crown jewel, and they seemingly be okay after it, right?
Look,
What's the
look. All I'm saying is that look at the landscape of War Games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Look at the landscape of War Games. We know we had some new matches be announced, an IC title match and a US title match.
Yeah.
Let's say I put you in a position, hey, Sancho, instead of the Nakamura LA Knight match that maybe is a little bit too rushed, let's put a match here for the women. What are you putting there? I'm just going to stop you. You can't put anything there because they've done such a poor job of booking anything else that isn't just this War Games match. And you know what doesn't help? Tying the two women's world championships to one singular match at Crown Jewel and then one singular match at War Games. And then not only that, then tying the women's tag team championships to that as well. So it just kind of leaves you with a landscape. The only other thing would have been the women's US championship final. That could have worked, but that's for Saturday night's main event.
And they tied the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah, dude, they tied all of the most important things in the women's division to one match. Literally, it's an infinity gauntlet. They tied it to one match. I don't think that anyone could book a worthwhile Survivor Series PLE women's match without any of the women that are in the War Games match. And that wasn't the case last year. Last year, there was a women's War Games match and Rhea Ripley had a world title match as well. This time around, it just sort of feels like the women are kind of getting the B storyline here. They're not really getting the best writers coming together to put together good women's storytelling, good narratives, good mid-card women's wrestling. You know what it feels like to a degree? It almost feels like this women's Intercontinental Championship is the story device to try and revive the women's mid-card on Raw.
I'll take it.
I'll take it too. I'll take it too.
It's going to be, I'm just surprised they're doing it now. I thought for sure we would get like a marination of the United States women's title in like both on sides and then let more, solo acts try to come out in there and enjoy it and then have them build up United States title. But it seems to me that they want both built up at the same time. If they gave Jordynne Grace type of level of IC title ownership there, I think the IC title will be held higher. But based on the way they treated the announcement, United States is in the lead right now. And if Charlotte's the first one, got to give it to Charlotte.
Death, taxes, and Charlotte Flair winning a championship after coming back from injury, baby.
Her first
that's so much better. It's so much better. They Def Rebelled her. Bow down. Oh, it's so much worse. It's so much worse. Her old theme was infinitely better. Can we talk about the Costco guys on AEW? I know that this isn't really like a
you could take over. I'm gonna eat a little bit with the burger.
Yeah, I have some thoughts here. First of all, there's a lot of people that just do not like fun. Like, this is just such a non-issue.
Fun in wrestling.
Yes, yeah. This is just such a non-issue, and I see so many people talking like having Big AJ and Big Justice there is like sacrilege. Like, whoa, now we're really in WCW 2001 for AEW. Like, brother, like, come, like, read the room. Like, we're just having fun with the Costco guys. Like, no one is saying that this guy is getting a world championship run. He wasn't even on the main card. He was on a freaking pre-show. So people just need to chill out and just learn to have a little bit of fun, because that's what this match and this entire storyline was meant to be. It was just meant to be fun. If you want to provide criticism, you know what's not criticism? Costco guys are cringy. I hate them. Boo. Shut up. You want to know why you need to shut up? Because they bring eyeballs. And at the end of the day, this is an economy of eyeballs. You're trying to get as many eyeballs as possible. Is the Costco guys any more cringy than Bad Bunny? I don't necessarily think so. WWE is just at a way bigger scale that they can get names like Bad Bunny. Costco guys, that's an appropriate scale for an organization like AEW. And it brought a lot of eyeballs to AEW. Record-breaking numbers for their live stream for AEW 0 Hour. 79,000 concurrent viewers, Sancho. You and I live in this world of live streaming. You and I know that those are insane numbers. WWE's pre-show doesn't do those numbers, mostly because they don't do matches, but they're not doing Big Justice and Big AJ numbers like they did there. So the criticism of this is cringy, this is stupid, it's your opinion. If you don't like them, you don't like them. Maybe it just wasn't for you, but like that's not real criticism. You want me to give you the real criticism that I think actually stands? In no world should this have been AEW's best marketed match for this pay-per-view. It shouldn't be. That's a crime. You know, some people want to say that the Costco guy stole a spot from somebody that's been working for years. I'm sorry. Again, economy of eyeballs. At the end of the day, it's whoever's going to put butts on seats and bring eyeballs to the sport. So if you really want to do justice to the guys and girls that do this every single day, then you needed to do a better build for all of the other matches that were on this card. This was the worst built AEW pay-per-view, and it wasn't even that bad. It wasn't even that bad. It's just the build-up to it, Sancho, was really, really bad. And Big AJ versus QT Marshall was the best built match, both on socials, but even in on AEW Dynamite and Rampage, it was getting like plenty of screen time and TV time. So my question is, who do we point the fingers at? Is it Tony Khan for not booking the other matches and giving them proper spotlight and making them feel more special going into this pay-per-view? Or is it the talent that didn't do the same type of legwork that Big AJ did on his socials? But the one person that you can't be mad at, people, are the Costco guys. This is the double chunk chocolate cookie guy. There's nothing to be mad at him over. Literally not a single thing to get mad at him over. If you want to be upset about something about AEW Full Gear, it's the fact that the Costco guys had the best build and the best advertised match. And that in itself is a problem.
Do you feel that oftentimes people forget the things that the WWE did? Do you remember a time where they put Braun Strowman with the Child as a tag team? And that totally killed the tag team division for years to come afterward?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't remember this. You know, the sacrilege of wrestling. Does anyone remember the time where, God.
A turkey came out of an egg, brother.
Yes. There's so many of these things, and Triple H visiting a funeral home. There's so many crazy things that have happened in wrestling. This is like the most nonchalant, non-serious issue that has ever been brought up. I think it's because people want to see AEW fail. People want to be right about AEW failing, and people want to see it burn, and that's not fair to AEW. I think AEW is in a rough spot right now, and I think AEW is doing all that they can to right the ship. They got a new deal. They're going to go into smaller, intimate venues, which everyone has been saying for the longest time, but people don't understand that when you book venues, you book venues months and months out, so they can't really change the course the next day if things are not working out. I think they're going to make a comeback. It's going to take a while, and I think the good thing about the Costco guys is, dude, this is what we do. This is content creating. It's like Santi going to Destiny Wrestling and hitting someone in the back with a chair on a smaller scale. But still, it's still one of the boys out there getting the win. You know what I mean? Getting some action out there. And it's not like AJ is not a wrestler. That dude can wrestle.
That dude was doing just fine. And then Big Justice with a nasty spear. That was pretty cool. That was pretty really cool. Yeah, we got to think of scales, right? Like, okay, yes, WWE can get the Bad Bunnies of the world. They can get the big stars. But when you talk about scale, a major social media influencer like Big AJ and Big Justice and the Rizzler, I can't do the Rizzler face, that's a big draw for AEW. And people were loving it in the arena. The booms with every punch.
You're not as adorable as the Rizzler. I'm sorry. Oh, God. No. Okay, it's working on me. It's kind of working. Is it? Yeah, it is. Oh, but I think like you have to remember for every Costco guys, there's a Logan Paul, right? There's the same kind of situation. People kind of hated on Logan Paul becoming a wrestler. We didn't buy into it. And at the same time, Speed being involved, KSI being involved, like that's all the stuff that relates to the generation and the people that are online and social media and as content creators. I'm all about it, dude. I popped the loudest when KSI showed up, and we had that recently on the Match Club that's coming up soon. Those moments are progressing wrestling, either whether you like it or you don't. We need the young eyeballs, man. We need the people, that audience of the Costco guys. Now, would it be what would be the WWE equivalent, right? I think WWE will definitely grab Kai Cenat. I think that's next. I think Kai Cenat is the next guy to be involved in a promotion in some way. This man literally crossed 500,000 subscribers on Twitch, for those of you who don't know. The biggest subscriber base ever on Twitch history. He's going to have Thanksgiving with Kevin Hart and Drewski. So it's going to be insane, man. Kai Cenat's next with WWE. And people, if you had a problem with the Costco guys, you need to have the same energy of Kai Cenat, but you shouldn't. You shouldn't.
It's because it's a non-problem. It's literally a non-problem. Right. That's why I laid it out. Like, if you want to have a problem with it, look at the problem with the buildup of the show, not with the Costco guys being there.
Okay. Devil's advocate, do you think it's because AEW has been on this whole kind of crusade about them being sports, more wrestling, where the best wrestle and that all kind of stuff? Like, that's where they lead their front foot. That's where, Sting would have that. He would come out of nowhere and be like, I'm here because this is where the best wrestle. Bryan Danielson would be like, I'm here because this is the best wrestle. John Moxley, this is where the best wrestle. And then they, they lead that right foot with the Costco guys, right? And
maybe. Okay, I see what you get.
Disconnect where it's like, that's more sports entertainment aspect than pro wrestling type of vibe.
No, I really just think people are looking for AEW to die. I feel like it's just it's criticism that's unfounded with no logic. It's just, you don't like the Costco guys. Okay, that's fine. If you're not entertained for them, it's not your thing. You were never meant to be the target audience for that in the first place. Then
I think it's more as well that it's not their thing. And oh man, it just slipped my mind.
That being said, while you think of your thought,
okay, I'll think
it's not their thing. Maybe because of what you said, because AEW presents this, we're the best wrestle. So there is a juxtaposition there. You're giving me lemonade here, but you got the best lemonade, but then also at the same time you want to give me a cup of coffee. It's weird. What are you?
No.
Are you a lemonade stand?
When you ask for a lemonade and you're like, can I have a lemonade? And it's from the fountain drink. That's the problem. And I want that house-made lemonade. What I was going to say is, when people say this is like the fall of WCW, this is not the finger poke of doom. This is not ending Goldberg Street with a cattle prawn. This is not everybody underneath the sun being an NWO. This is not Hogan. This is not, what was it? What happened? What was it in TNA when Vince Russo came out and had Jeff Jarrett lay down and Hogan had to cover him?
Oh no, that was WCW. That was WCW.
Not that, all right? Yeah. That is the worst thing ever that to happen in wrestling. This is one of the good things to happen in AEW in a while. And a great footnote, brother.
Dude,
this is a dad song, brother.
It's wholesome fun. And people just don't want to have fun, man. It's the biggest non-issue that's become a huge issue.
You think Don was watching and be like, I wish that was me and my dad.
Dude, what a cool dad though, right?
Right?
What a cool dad. What a cool experience for those kids, both the Rizzler.
Stop.
And in Big Justice.
Good, you already have somebody. Stop rizzling the audience.
El Rizzador.
Could you do that to Sarah and see what she says?
You think I could rizz? I mean, I already rizzed her.
Okay, can we leave this? Can I parachute back out of this quickly and record out of here?
Anyways, that was my little TED talk on the Costco guys. I just feel like it's such unfair, unfounded criticism. There is criticism to be had of the show and how it was built and how it was booked. Costco guys were not the problem. And the match was fun. The match was fun, man. It was fun. Gunther. I know we've been skirting over the topic real a couple of times. You keep talking about shy Gunther. Gunther losing his Bushido. What's the play here? Is it for Gunther to win so definitively that he gets his Bushido back? Because I'm also...
You can't do that to Damian.
You can't do that to Damian. I was thinking the same thing. And also, I'm starting to think that they're going to do the same finish from SummerSlam, brother. That Finn Balor is going to get involved again.
He keeps talking about it, right? He keeps telling Dom, you messed up, and now Damian's going to get the next opportunity.
Can I tell you where I think it could go?
Hit me.
You
have that look in your eye. You have that look in your eye. This is the same place. Go ahead.
They just reintroduced R-Truth into the Judgment Day Clubhouse. I think that at some point or another, all right, stick with me here, Finn Balor and JD McDonough are going to attack R-Truth, and Damian Priest is going to make the save. Your next World Tag Team Champions will be R-Truth and Damian Priest.
Get out. Just stop.
Why?
What's wrong with you?
Look, when R-Truth was in the Judgment Day, the only one that liked them a little bit was Damian Priest. Maybe.
You're not wrong.
There's something there. Those titles are worthless right now on where they're at right now. I think that there could be some wholesome family fun to be had with a oddball tag team champions and R-Truth and Damian Priest. Maybe what they wanted to do with R-Truth and The Miz could be what they actually do successfully with R-Truth and Damian Priest. Look,
why waste Gunther this way, though? If you're going to do that, you could do that without shy Gunther.
I don't know that's the thing. I personally like the idea of the tag team championships eventually down the line, but I don't know where that happens on the timeline because of where we're at. Like, where does the shy Gunther thing come into play and where does it go? I mean, I guess they have me. I'm intrigued. I'm on board, but also a little bit confused as to what they're trying to accomplish here in the long run with Gunther.
Limp Gunther is not fun to watch.
Did we have to use limp?
He was limp. He said nothing. And the more they let
Flaccid Gunther.
Gummy Gunther. The more they let him speak, Damian, the less I liked him. Did you feel that way?
He was bullying Gunther, bro. He was bullying.
I was like, what are you talking? He's like, oh, what's wrong, Gunther? You can't
say
anything.
You bitch. You little bitch, basically, is what he was hitting him with.
Then he was like, you know what? I know what you're going to say. Go ahead, say it. Never mind. I'm not going to let you say it. It just felt like that the entire time. But I just felt like it was a very awkward segment. And I thought the more cool and precise and more like less words, but they carry a lot of weight. Damian Priest, you may be a general in the ring, but in the streets, I'm a king. Like that was gold.
Yeah, that worked for you. You like that.
Got me going, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Got me going. Got me interested.
Mm-hmm. No longer flaccid.
No longer gummy. Ready to roll. But that's the thing that is so bizarre to me that I feel like this was a step back. Because Gunther's directionless, and Damian is kind of going in a strange direction that what are the two outcomes? If Damian wins, he continues on and then Judgment Day come back into his fold. Or, like you predicted, Judgment Day stop him and he continues on that role. If Gunther wins, where does he go? Like, who is his next opponent? You say CM Punk comes back and maybe takes advantage of that third Death Star that's being under constructed.
We talked about what do we do with Drew McIntyre.
Ooh.
You know, we don't know where to put him. Maybe that's it. Maybe Gunther gets his Bushido back to be able to go up against Drew McIntyre.
But could you imagine if it was Drew McIntyre telling him these things? Gunther. Oh, come on.
It would land. Especially with how much of a piece of crap Drew McIntyre is. He could make those lines land. It does sort of feel like I'm watching when Damian said the line that like in the streets I'm the king, I was like, this is the right level of corny. You've met your corny quota
Yep.
and you went right to the line, and I'm okay with it. But I felt with this promo where he was basically like berating Gunther, it felt like I was watching an episode of 90210, or I was watching an episode of Degrassi Junior High. It just sort of felt disingenuous. It didn't feel genuine from Damian Priest. It felt a little bit forced.
It's because the way Gunther was behaving too. So you're just like, it felt too. You were like, your brain was like, something's wrong here. I don't know what's wrong. That there's something wrong with the turkey. The turkey's a little dry. It's not the best
dry.
Turkey. A little dry. But I'm having hope. But you thinking inserting Drew, I'm down for it. Like, this is good. And I think they need to say less is more with Damian Priest. Like, make him come up with some like hard hitting lines. I think would go a long way. And Shy Gunther needs to go somewhere else.
I keep saying it's not my general. That is not my general.
It reminds me of you remember when Tony Stark was so upset after he was like at Endgame, or was it Endgame? Yeah, Endgame, very Endgame. He was just so bad. Or was it Ultron? What was it where he's like, that's not my Tony Stark? Where's the fun-loving Tony Stark?
That was Age of Ultron. That was where Tony Stark was all like paranoid about the end of the world, and that was Age of Ultron. He created Ultron literally because of that.
Yeah. It's not my Tony Stark. This is not my
Tony.
It's not my Tony. Not my Gunther. Tony.
I like what you said. I do feel like it could be a situation of less is more with Damian Priest. That was a little much. The one-liner of in the ring you're a general, in the streets I'm a king. I'm like, perfect. This little bit too much, a little bit too much seasoning on my bagel. Didn't love it.
You don't like everything. What was it? What's that seasoning?
The everything bagel. I like everything bagels, but you can overdo it. You can have too much everything.
How can you have too much of everything?
I don't know why it makes sense, but it makes sense to have too much of everything.
Why order an everything bagel if you wanted everything?
You could have too much of the everything, is what I'm saying. Whatever, man. I don't need this.
You're like, whoa, this is too much.
Do you feel like WWE is saving a little bit too much for Saturday night's main event?
You keep saying it. They want eyeballs, right? They want eyeballs, but why put so much eyeballs on a network you're not even on? Or you're not on NBC. You're not on Peacock.
USA is owned by NBC. That's an NBC property, so they are on NBC. For those that don't know, when SmackDown signed with the USA Network, part of the deal was that WWE would put on 4 live shows on NBC primetime. This is the first one. They said every year, so I guess maybe a prorated, the last one of this year, and then we do 4 in 2025 probably.
You're talking about, this is kind of like the same equivalent of Brock Lesnar, what, Beast in the East, that type of vibe, right?
It's a special. It is the same vibe, but this is a much bigger deal. For sure. This is a much bigger deal. 100%. Because Beast in the East, and they've done these special shows before, but they're always just relegated to the traditional channels, whether it's Peacock, the WWE Network, Sportsnet, whatever it might be. When we talk about NBC primetime, that's on another level.
I just thought of you so rated everything but bagel again. Of everything. I think that WWE, I mean, they are putting a lot on this card, man. They're saving a lot for it. I think you're right. I think it's malnourishing the Monday Night Raw and SmackDown.
And it's 2 weeks after Survivor Series. So like by default, it's just like siphoning energy and matches and hype from Survivor Series.
Oh, so you want more matches on the PLE for Survivor Series?
Well, we got 5, but if I'm being honest with you, Nakamura, LA Knight, it feels like they're doing them a disservice by not giving them the ability to build a proper story in a proper feud with one another. I would have had here's the thing, Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes. That story, that's been in the oven long enough to be on Survivor Series, but they're making the conscious decision to say, nope, not at Survivor Series. 2 weeks from today.
You know why? Because Survivor Series is not a pay-per-view anymore. They
What do
don't
you
need
mean?
you to buy it. They don't need you to buy it. It's on a PLE. It's a streaming service now.
Yes.
It's a premium live event. If they needed you to buy tickets, every pay-per-view would have an undisputed title defense on it. Every single one. But because it's not, that's what we're getting. It's the price to pay. You know what? It hurts Cody unless they have a big, like a spectacular show at the Saturday Night Main Event. But I think like it's. I have a bad feeling, man. I have a bad feeling. This is a feeling that's sneaking up on me. You said there's no proper field, there's no proper story. That means surprises around the corner.
You think Nakamura could beat LA Knight? Okay, I want to hear this.
Look, man, I'm the ultimate LA Knight glazer.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been a lot of spooky sounds in
CEO
the
of the factory. CEO of the factory. CEO. Let me pipe in the crowd sound. CEO. CEO. Sancho, you do that too well. That was really good. Do you practice it?
I do.
You've practiced it, haven't you?
You never know Mercedes Monet. I have to interview her, and she does that, and I have to follow her up with.
I can't do it as well as you do. You got that je ne sais quoi about it.
But I think like the reason why, like I said, the Glaze Factor is a lot of been spooky sounds at night. You know, the security overnight guard he's been like, oh, there's something missing. The glaze is everywhere. The glaze barrels have been knocked over. There's some mystery afoot. And why? And I know I said that this is the last run of Nakamura, but why not give him a belt on the way out and give LA Knight something to chase? And I just think it's just so strange to have a no build, and we're gonna get one SmackDown, right? The go home.
It's already been recorded too.
It's already been recorded too. And then what? LA Knight wins against the Nakamura and buries Nakamura completely. There has to be some kind of shenanigans afoot.
I agree. I do think it's kind of weird, and whatever. Sue me. I'm trying to find logic in wrestling, and I know it's dumb to try and make logic out of the illogical sometimes. Kind of wild, all of the hoops that I can't focus. It's kind of wild to think of all the hoops that Andrade and Carmelo Hayes had to go through to get a championship match, and Nakamura's like, hey, that's basically it. Hey, cousin, you want to go bowling? Like that's basically what Nakamura did to get a championship match. Then again, you know what? No, that's unfair to say, because we had Berto get a championship opportunity. We've had Santos Escobar get a championship opportunity. So we have a fighting champion in LA Knight, to be fair.
Yeah, but that's not on LA Knight's terms. Unless in that recorded one, LA Knight calls out Nakamura, and WWE is just doing their thing where they just show you the match before. Why are we here?
They have no choice. They can't announce a match the day before.
No.
And I actually made a video talking about like what are some of the symptoms as to why, because if you look back at Crown Jewel, it was kind of similar where they had to announce 2 matches the week of the PLE. And I boiled it down to 3 reasons, Sancho. 3 reasons as to why we're kind of getting these kind of rushed PLE match announcements on the week of. 1, Raw being 2 hours. It just makes it more difficult for you to be able to tell all of your stories in the correct amount of Raws so that you can have all your matches announced 2 weeks out. Losing that hour over an entire PLE cycle, that's losing a whole episode of Raw. Literally, a whole episode of Raw. And with that being the case, you got to use every single episode of Raw to build your PLE, including the go home. That's probably symptom number 1. Symptom number 2 here, this one is more exclusive to Survivor Series, is like just their poor booking of the women and handcuffing all of the plot devices that you could use to build up different women's matches at Survivor Series War Games into one War Games match. We already talked about it. Money in the Bank briefcase, women's tag titles, and both women's world championship. So that is a total, all right, of potential women that could be added to the show in separate matches of, okay, one on something to do with the Money in the Bank briefcase, 4 women for the women's tag titles, and another 4 for the other 2 world titles. That's 11 women that are locked, basically. And they're locked in War Games, figuratively and literally. And then the third one we just talked about it, Saturday night's main event, their focus on pushing things that would have traditionally just been on at Survivor Series and pushing it to Saturday night's main event.
Would it be crazy to have Roman and you said Roman and Solo at Saturday
I think it's Roman versus Solo at Saturday night's main event. Yeah.
What does Punk do?
Punk, I think he's got to do something. I think he's going to do something.
I think we find out as Seth and Punk go at it, like for Mania there.
Wouldn't mind a Punk and John Cena reunion.
Oh, stop. Look at you. How does it make you go to bed?
Every time you're laughing at me, I'm going to do the Rizzler face.
I can't deny you, dude. It just goes like, oh, you want me to be?
Dude, this is it's like in video game terms, this increases my speech by 100.
It does. Your clairvoyance and was it your persuasion? Your
persuasion, yes. My persuasion goes up
so much. But yeah, I think you're kind of right around the reason why all this is happening is because Saturday Night Main Event, but I still will stand and I will forever hold this dear is that Survivor Series is still the Big Four. It's still part of the Big Four. Despite all these things kind of going towards Saturday Night Main Event, there's big things that are going to happen, and it's going to happen at Survivor Series. It happened last year, and I think the WWE understands that if they keep doing it every year, people are going to expect something major going to happen.
And I'm expecting something major. I am. Like, I'm not expecting you to follow up Punk returning after 10 years. But I'm expecting something.
The Rock returning to Survivor Series to do something at War Games to challenge Roman is pretty big.
That'd be big. But Saturday night's main event is right there, and I think that they would just save it for that. Which brings us back to this swirl of problems that we've been talking about. And I think we've recognized that one of the biggest causes of these problems is Saturday night's main event. Because, like, for example, right, like we talked about, I mentioned that one of the issues is, you know, a 2-hour Raw losing 1 hour on paper doesn't seem like a big deal, but through an entire PLE cycle, that's a whole episode of Raw. And sometimes even a little bit more that gets missed out. So you have to do storyline development in every single Raw, including the go home episode. And that's what we got with Braun Breaker, Sheamus, and Ludwig Kaiser. I feel like when we had a 3-hour Raw, they would have probably had this brawl last week. And the match would have been announced last week, thus giving us an opportunity for this week, the go home week, for them to cut promos on each other, right? But instead, we're going from announcement to match. And you kind of have to. You kind of have to.
Right. You're so right. It's going to be a good match, but I think we're missing the juice of it. And same thing with Nakamura and LA Knight. It's going to be a good match. We're just missing the juice of it. I think the War Games matches are I'm surprised. I thought that I was going to is the WWE bold enough just to have 3 matches on the card?
I wouldn't have put it past them, dude. I really wouldn't have put it past them. And that would have been a dead giveaway that both War Games matches were going to be over 50 minutes.
Yep. It was going to be a 2-hour just on those matches instantly. And the fall off for it. But, you know, they had to put in those 2 other matches. And they got to fill the quote, at least 4. But I'm not, again, at the end of the day, I'm scared for LA Knight because he seems very expendable right now. Really does. It's not looking good here. We have not turned yet into a Spirit Halloween here at the Glaze Factory. We're still active, baby. We're still going till the wheels fall off, my friend.
Sancho, what are we thinking here? I feel like we've covered everything.
Yes, we covered everything at a fast pace. And for those of you who don't know, it's simply because we're going to do a second podcast for you this week.
Second podcast this week. So yeah, I think we should wrap it up here. Survivor Series War Games, though, Sancho, real quick, are you going to be live streaming it?
I will be live. I'll be live on twitch.tv/SanchoWest. Come on by. We do predictions. We have fun times. And then I will be posting my reactions on my socials at Sancho West Wrestling on TikTok and Sancho West on Instagram. And on Sancho West TikTok, it'll be like invisible disappearing ink. You see it, and then it'll just... So Be sure to be following the TikTok to see those initial reactions, or Instagram to see them there permanently.
All right, well, let's jump into the new heat order. I know our patrons are like, this isn't a 2-hour episode. You're going to get 2 hours of content still on a podcast format. It's just, we're going to do predictions and we're going to have it separately. We could have done predictions in this one, but like, we want to let you be able to, if you just want predictions, to watch just the predictions.
Here's your new heat order. This is a hot the buzz that everyone's that we're all excited about to watching, and all the fun, all vibes. And these are not necessarily the best wrestlers in the world, but these are the ones that get us going. You know, they get us with a bated breath. I'm trying to figure out the angle here. Oh, these graphics are expensive, folks. We try to spend our money wisely here. At number 10, Tommaso Ciampa. Number 9, Braun Breaker. Number 8, Ludwig. Number 7, Mistament. Number 6, Nakamura. Number 5, Rhea Ripley. Number 4, Damian Priest. Number 3, Roman Reigns. Number 2, Solo Sikoa. And number 1, Bronson Reed.
Why did you say it like an Irish person? Bronson Reed.
Do you think he stays with the Bloodline, or do you think a fallout happens and he leaves? Like he's like mistreated by Solo
he's
Sikoa?
just I don't know. I feel like he just sort of fits, man. I feel like I feel like they just found the stray dog and now he's staying home with them.
It reminds me of Waluigi. You know, he had no idea.
I don't know why that just like I didn't even think twice. I was like, yeah, that's the Waluigi sound. I'm going for it.
Like you don't know where Waluigi belongs, but when he's in, bro, he's in.
He's in, bro.
You know what I mean? He's just.
You know what I mean? The reality is no. but but okay,
brother. Waluigi's in, he's in. You know what I mean?
Dude, like, I think I would pay for you to go up to random strangers and just say that when Waluigi's in, he's in, brother.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Dog, if I only had the confidence to do street interviews. I'm a dad now, dude. I don't belong out in the streets interviewing random strangers. I don't want to get stabbed.
I've been doing that.
You might get stabbed. All right, here it goes. Who's your number 1 now? I'm thinking CM Punk.
Wow, what a creative thought you've had. Is that what you're thinking?
I could have gone Paul Heyman.
No, it's CM Punk. It's CM Punk. It's Punk and Heyman. 1 and 2.
Yep. Did you think he was going to bring out CM Punk, or did you think it was Brock?
There was not a single bone in me that thought it was Brock. I thought it was Punk from the get-go. When he was announcing somebody, I thought it was Punk.
I know. Wasn't it crazy? Like it goes like, oh, see, Paul Heyman's back. Cool. You know, I'm not a mathematician, but 4 versus. I was like, he's gonna announce the 5th man.
I was watching with what did you say earlier that made you sound like an 85-year-old man? A bated breath.
Yes.
I'm writing to you from the front lines with a bated breath.
Dearest Delilah, I hope you're doing well. Is number 3 Roman Reigns? I mean,
Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens. Right. It's KO.
For 4 years, I fought the Bloodline, and they almost took my livelihood away. I fought every single one of them, even Roman Reigns. Good stuff. Are you gonna give your love to Cody here, or is it Solo Sikoa? I feel like everybody. I didn't bring this up during the CM Punk segment, but do you feel like CM Punk has taken over the Survivor Series? It's no longer about OG Bloodline versus Bloodline. Now it's more about Punk and Roman.
No, I still think it's Bloodline. It's just that the Punk thing. I do. I think it's still Bloodline. Oh my God, I do.
Who's gonna get a bigger cheer, Roman or CM Punk?
Punk. Punk will always outpop almost anybody.
Oh, even John Cena. Wow, I'm telling John.
No, don't tell John.
I'm going to go to his Twitter right now. I'm telling John Cena. Let's see what he has to say today. John Cena writes, so often we ask questions as bridges to further what we like to say. Try asking with genuine curiosity and summon the patience to actively listen to an answer.
That's you when you try to suggest Lana and Gunther.
Yeah, but why don't you have? I have genuine curiosity.
I don't have any genuine curiosity about that. You need
to summon the patience.
Don't want it. Don't need it.
Is Cody your number 4 then? Is it someone on the women's side? Is it Tiffy? Is it Rhea Ripley? Rhea Ripley's been getting crazy pops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it Bronson Reed? But I mean, I feel like Bronson Reed's now second fiddle until Bronson Reed jumps off the cage and then he's back into the forefront.
My kind of maybe Jade Cargill, just kind of like the wonder of her attacker. I feel like that could lead to something big. Maybe not necessarily like this high. Okay, but there's intrigue, there's conversation there with Jade Cargill.
I think Jade doesn't come back until Rumble.
Okay. That's what I see.
Did you hear the list of the injuries she has? It was close to dead. You know? Like, good Lord. All right.
What else
happened?
I mean, we could go
Ciampa. We could
Nakamura.
Go over Cody Rhodes. What's wrong with you?
Okay, put Cody. Just put him down. I like the Homelander moment that he had
with Mello.
Yeah.
Did you see the split screen?
The side by side of Homelander and A-Train? Yeah. Is great.
What did you say? I'm just saying. It was so good. So good. We're never gonna get heel Cody though for like 4 or 5 years. Let's be real. There's too much money in babyface Cody. Number 5, Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? Costco guys.
Oh, we bring the boom. That's what we do. Just put him in. Just put him in. Just put him in. I know that's not this is a WWE list, but put them in. The Costco guys.
They are here because they did a great service to all wrestling.
And just like that, Sancho has put the Costco guys above the New Day.
Roman Reigns.
Oh, and Roman Reigns. I kind of have Kofi and Xavier over Roman. That promo was fire, dude. Dude.
And doesn't it feel nice?
It does feel nice to be on this train.
Come on, man. I wanted to wait. I wanted to wait till Christmas to do this for you. But I thought, we'll get kicked off now. And I thought that this was a great. I'm a bad gift giver. I give you the gift right away. You know,
hey, it's a good going away gift. I'm traveling.
Yeah.
Now I can be on the plane, being like, oh, I'm on a plane, but I could be on a train right now because I'm allowed on it.
You're allowed on it, buddy. Number 7, Roman Reigns.
Yeah, now we can put Roman.
Okay, now we can put Roman. Someone's gonna be like, "Oh, how dare you put an 8?"
What did we ruin the sanctity of your new heat order by putting the Costco guys? Boom!
Number 8. I'm down at this point to put Damian Priest. And maybe Dominic Mysterio.
Sancho,
maybe R-Truth.
Tell me why you think it should be Damian.
Because he has.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me why you think it's going to be Damian.
Oh, don't Damian me.
Yeah, we can put Damian here. We can put Damian here.
I mean, we did kind of rag on him the entire time. Maybe Rhea Ripley. Dude, Rhea Ripley coming in with the kendo stick. That's Stone Cold Steve Austin stuff, bro. I know it's basic. I know there's nothing special to it, like beyond, but she gets big pops. She looks awesome.
Sure.
With that mask.
All right, just do it. Just do it. Just do it.
9 and 10. Any intrigue in Bailey joining as the 5th?
I have intrigue. I have intrigue adding Bailey here.
Okay, add Bailey. And number 10, Jade Cargill.
You know what? I changed my mind on Jade Cargill.
Wow.
Still another lady, Chelsea Green. Dude, the excitement online for her winning round 1.
Good call. You don't think Piper did it?
Maybe. I don't know. I know as much as you do.
Do you know who shot Mr. Burns?
Do we know yet? Was it Maggie? Did it end up just being Maggie? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a WWE swerve. Maggie shot Mr. Burns.
On accident. Mr. Burns technically shot himself. No, it was Maggie. It was Maggie. Maggie cold like that. All right, folks, here's your top 10. New heat order. The most controversial. Number 1, CM Punk. Number 2, Paul Heyman. Number 3, Kevin Owens. Number 4, Cody Rhodes. Number 5, Costco guys. Number 6, New Day. Number 7, Roman Reigns. Number 8, Rhea Ripley. Number 9, Bayley. Number 10, Chelsea Green. Chances of Chelsea winning, high or low?
High.
I say extremely high.
Very high. Very high.
Very high.
Very high.
She has to beat Bayley, and with Bayley now being involved and accidentally causing this tiff here with Nia, that's gonna open the door again for Chelsea Green, baby.
Yes, sir.
Ding, ding, goes the Jedi.
All right, let's bring it home, folks. Before we wrap things up, an extra special thank you goes out to our $15 patrons. They are the producers of this show. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So thank you very much. Goes out to Sancho Mania Running Wild, FU Santi, I'm First, Nick Now, Nick Harvey, 2022 Benjamin, Aaron Garcia, A Deep Fried Robot, Akira Kemp, Alex, Alexander Dawson, Alan Crockett, Anita Maxwin, Antoni, Ariyoshi, Ashley Ryan Noel, sorry if I butchered that, Asperlitz, Ozzy Kingslayer, Austin Baker, Austin Gregory, Austin Singleton, Austin Theories Theorist, Austin Weaver, Authentic Chocolate, Bailey Saunders, Ben Calloway, Barry, B Hostile, Big Poppy Sasquatch, Big Shy Gunther, Blast Pass, Bluefish, Brady Keaton, Brian Ibarra, Bry Guy, Bryce Burt, Bunker Jonesy Loves WWE, Caleb Lee, Callus.
There's a Fortnite skin.
Yeah, you've pointed this out like every week.
No, it's the first time.
No, it's not. Why do I know that it's a Fortnite skin? Because you told me. Is that what we're gonna do when we piss each other off? Just Riz face each other? Anyways, where was I? Bryce Burr, Bunker Jonesy Loves WWE, Caleb Lee, Callus Kevin, Cameron Dodd, Cameron Noel, Carlos Gonzalez, CB, change my name because Santi can't spell Dutch names. Okay. I think it's pronounced, but idiot. Chew Poppy, Chimchars Collectibles, Christian Ormsby, CM Puff, Connor Williamson, Cowboys and Chargers suck ass. Daniel who
lost today at the time of the recording. They suck.
Dark Flame. David Barlett, Detroit Made Benjamin, DJ Broadnax, DJ AS, Dr. Undashing Long Dong Undertaker. Drew Baumgarn, Duck Slave, Dumsky, Dire Hellfire, Dylan Kana, Emmanuel Holmes, Eric A. Buelna, Aaron Thorne, Isach, you better bolt the F up, bum ass Cowboys fans. Fernando Madrigal, Fletcher Walpole, Floating, Forever Wrestling, Franklin L. Everett, Gabe Maras, Game Escape, Garrett Woods, George Valdez, Gilbert Deans, GXA Man, Hartfeld, Hey Sancho, How Long is Undertaker's Dong, Hoodie Cam, I Miss Jerry Show, It's a Mista, Jack Baker, Jack Gibley, Jackson, Jacob Pena, Jacob Staffel, Jaden, not to be confused with Jaden Smith, Jada, Jake Chavoya, James Brian Balago, Jason the Sellout, Jassim Alcazar, Javier Rodriguez, Jalen Steele, Jeremy C. Moreau, Jesse Gibson, Jesse, Jahihi, Ahihi, Joe Velez. Dude, that's how it's spelled. Jahihi, Ahihi. Joey Romig, Joey Turner, Jolly Green Giant, Jordan Lynch, Jordy Marte, Josh B, Jose Santi's cousin, Joseph Pointer, Josh Sutton, Josue Zahn, Juan Verduzco, Judson Daniels, Juicy, Jumpy Plastic, Justin Courtwright, Caden Rivers, Caleb Cunningham, Kansas City Chiefs are the Roman Reigns of the NFL, Cam Dean, Casuz, Coady Rick Boogs, Kyrie Lawrence, Lil Shifu, Lions are winning the Super Bowl, Luke Parker, Luke Sika, Manly Man, Manny IDK, Marnie YCSM, Matthew Dalla is all I need, Matthew Feth, Matthew Watkins, Max Dupree, Max Dupree, Mekki, Michael Parnell, Mika Kasi, Mikey Rada, Mitchell Harris, Mitchell X, Professor X, maybe that's his first name, Mitchell. He doesn't seem like he'd be a Mitchell. He's a Charles, right? Charles Xavier. Anyways, Muhammad Al-Banai, Monte Moore, Mr. No Filter, Nathan Shearer, Nathaniel Stevenson, Nellen Zach, Nicholas Kyle, Obi Nobi, Osama Awad, Pat R, Pat McNack, Pim Call, Frody, Punk Fan 6, Puppet Spanker Johnson, Raphael Rodadius, Rory Sinclair, Reaper God, Ricky Dutcher. It's late, guys. It's past midnight. I'm sorry. Robert Rogers, Rocky B, Royce Ruffo, Riley, Sancho Nuts and Carrion Cross's protein shake. That's a new one. Sancho, I love you. Santi is allowed. Patreon producer decision.
He is.
Santi Janetti and Sancho Michaels. I hate that one. Please change your name. Santi Stinkface. Santi, I will work for your firm. Saudi Rick Boog, Screamo Scott, Semba, Seth, Shaggy WWE, Shane, Shawn Michaels, Right Nostril, Sidney Floyd, Sip God, Sir Nightmare, Skylar Brashears, Slimski Smooth, Solo, fuck you, he says. What he wrote.
Whoa.
Yeah, well, that's angry, bro. Spicy Nugget, Spunk Bob, Star Shield Nick, Steven Rhodes, Stone Cold Peash Austin, Stucky, Sugar Shane, Super Malachi Galaxy, the final boss, the first Patreon, I Crazy Dude, the Gaming Freak YouTube, the Undertaker's son, the Underwear Taker, TM, Thomas Goss, page 5, Sancho, Tobias Burnett,
we
Tom
didn't talk
Lehman.
About Scarlett getting scared by Nikki Cross. Ooh, that was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
Tommy, Trent Head, Two Crown, Tyler Free, V. Charles, Juan Pablo, Wesley Simpson, White Mexican, Willia Williams, Woa JC, Javier Izquierdo, Deadshot, Yoshi, Zach Griffin, Zach Lendo, Zay2K, and Zergzito. That is the most number of $15 patrons. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you listening to this midnight episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast. We'll see you, folks. Take care and be wonderful people.